Our guest this episode is April Chin. She is the co-CEO of Resaro. It is a Singapore-based AI assurance company. Now, before entering the AI world, April spent more than a decade in the Singapore government. Welcome, April.
Thank you.
Yeah, so by way of introduction, we usually ask our guests, so tell us a little bit more about yourself, and your company, and what do you guys do?
Yeah, very nice to meet you, Crispina, and thanks for having me here. I am the co-CEO of Resaro, and we are passionate about building more trust in the AI market because we see a huge gap between where we want AI to be in terms of its trustworthiness and what can actually be done when you are building and using AI in the real world.
Yeah.
And ultimately, that's a gap between what we call governance and engineering.
It's interesting because, you are not a technologist.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you're not a tech dude, so to speak,
Yeah.
right? In fact, you studied social work.
Yes.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, so that is fascinating to me. Tell me a little bit more about that. Like, what's your AI journey, basically?
It's a non-linear one.
Yes.
In fact, I never sort of wanted to do social work until towards the end, nearing my A-levels. And it was my school teacher that challenged me on why I wanted to be a doctor. At that time, one of a few important careers to pursue, which is medicine.
Of course.
And I studied triple science, and it was a very natural thing.
Yeah.
But my teacher asked me, why do you want to do it? And he just kept asking why. And eventually I realized, okay, I want to help people, but there are many different ways of doing it. I had done an internship with a medical social worker and was very struck by her work. One thing led to another. I took up a scholarship, started out in social policy, but also later on went on to do many different strategy and governance portfolios, and realized that ultimately what I'm really interested in is bridging gaps between paradigms. And I think AI for me, when I ventured into it, was bridging the technology and governance paradigms. That's how I got started about 6 years ago.
Right.
I had joined an AI startup that was developing a machine learning platform. And we were already thinking about governance by design, right? How do you inbuild that into your engineering process?
Right.
And since then, it's been a journey of constant learning.
Yeah.
What the world of technology and engineering and data science is like, as well as what the rest of the world is trying to find in AI, right? And the part that we're solving is the trustworthiness of AI products.
But 6 years ago sounds like a long time. I feel like, I don't know, things have blown up only in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 years since ChatGPT.
Yes, 2022.
Just thinking about going from, I guess, government into a startup space is already quite an interesting choice, right?
Indeed.
Right.
Yes.
So are you the sort who just decides, you know what, this sounds interesting, I'm going to pursue it?
I don't intentionally look for difficult things to do.
Unlike me, okay.
The question behind the question, but it is a very different approach, right? I think certainly the way we approach risk is fundamentally very different.
Oh, yeah.
In policy, you have to think of the majority, what impacts most people. You have to think very long term. In a startup, your time horizon is really short.
Yep.
We're thinking in days and weeks now.
Yep.
And one analogy that I found super helpful is, in a football game, if you play pure defensive, the best outcome you're going to get is a draw, 0-0.
Yep.
Right? And in the startup world, you can't afford to just be in a draw. You have to play to win.
Yep.
And that means every day making decisions about what risk you want to take to attack, right?
Yeah.
And to move forward.
That's very interesting. I mean, not everyone's kind of made out to take those kinds of risks, right?
No.
Yeah. So that must have been quite an interesting 6 years for you, being in this space.
And even now,
Still,
yes.
Still, somebody was saying that you need to sit with your ambiguity
Yes.
all the time.
which I had the fortune of experiencing in government when I was doing scenario planning. It's highly ambiguous, but over there, the time horizon is different.
Longer.
We're looking at 20, 30 years. Here, I'm dealing with the ambiguity on a day-to-day, week-by-week basis.
Especially in a technology that's changing.
Indeed. Yeah.
Every other week, you have something new that's coming out of the big labs and the small labs and the thousands of other labs.
Yes.
So on this podcast, right, a lot of our guests, I would say, are like AI evangelists. You know, they love talking about the technology and how massively wonderful it is. It's true because I use it too.
Yeah.
Right? Very few people talk about governance. Very few people talk about risk. They talk about regulation. You know, so, and that's where you play, right? But that's where your company plays. And so maybe map it out for my listeners who may not be so technically inclined about governance, right? How do you start looking at rules around something like this?
Yeah, that's a great question. People often think of governance as the party pooper,
You know?
right? But it's not. It's not meant to be. And I think for us, what we want to solve for is the confidence to use AI well in the real world, right? There's a lot of so-called AI evangelism today, but the bulk of it is still living in the world of pilots and experimentations. And when you talk about actually putting it into the hands of your customers, or allowing AI to make decisions without the human involved, that's where the risk-reward calculus changes a lot. And what we want to enable is the transparency in that decision-making process right from the beginning. From the time you're already thinking about your data sets, which model you want to pick, how you want to, pull together your agents, your models, and your different evaluation packages, right? And it's both a highly technical as well as a very subjective process. I'm learning that it's both science and art.
Oh, really? Different companies, I suppose.
Different companies, different stakeholders as well. The way they calculate their so-called ROI. Right? The engineering ROI is going to be very different from how a business team is thinking about their chatbot, for example.
Maybe I can ask you using an example. Because I keep reading about how AI is now going to read my scan. Like the radiologist now is an AI, right? Let's say. Okay, so let's say the AI does all that and you've deployed the AI and the reading is that, okay, there's no problem, right? The doctor signs off because he looks at the scan.
Yes.
And then he says, okay, sounds good, looks good.
Yes.
Okay, we'll sign off.
Yes.
And then it turns out that maybe there was a problem, right? So I guess where in this chain should there be some kind of a rules or regulations, right? So there's a human in the thing. But you've already deployed your AI to read or do your medical or even bank. Maybe an AI will one day approve my loan.
Yes. In fact, in some banks and also polyclinics, these are already happening. Right? And before we dive into details, I think a lot of it boils down to a question that we haven't discussed enough, which is what does it mean to be human? What does it mean for the human expert to remain accountable? Right? In the medical setting, I think at the moment, people don't doubt that the doctor, the radiologist still needs to be accountable. Right? And I think you would want the radiologist to be accountable. Even if, he's getting AI to support him in reading the x-rays and so on. But there are cases where maybe businesses haven't figured that out. They haven't figured out, okay, if the AI is going to approve my loan, or for example, I'm claiming something, right? And it says, okay, it's $5,000. So everything checks out, all the data checks out. You get your money. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So how does the rules and regulations come into play?
Today, the regulations don't go down to that level of detail, right? by nature, regulations are not meant to be so prescriptive,
Right.
Not at the use case level. It's just like policy should not be too prescriptive.
Yes.
Which is why in the AI ecosystem, I think we need a mixed bag of tools.
Okay.
Right. In some jurisdictions you have regulation.
Right.
There are also standards that are being developed. Then there are best practices. And then of course there are tools like guardrails. Then there are processes that you can put in place. Maybe you can say if the loan amount is above $100,000, it has to be checked by a human being. But if it's, 5K and below, it's okay. We optimize for efficiency.
Right.
Right. And perhaps you have some ability for the customer to call and say, hey, I don't think this was correct, and have a recourse action. So I think it has matured to the point where there are a range of tools available to enable this. But in terms of what combination of tools you should pick, it still boils down to the individual organization.
Yeah.
Sometimes the teams, and when they look at their specific use cases, what the risk levels are, what kind of ROI they want to get out of it. Do you want to optimize for productivity savings or customer satisfaction? There can be trade-offs over there.
Yeah. So I ask this because I think companies are grappling with this themselves.
Yes.
So if they are deciding and they don't know how to think about this, I suppose that's where either government or companies like yours who know what governance, what rules, what structure looks like can come in and help, right?
Yes. And what we are really interested to solve is also the scalability of it, right? I think there's no doubt that AI can be applied in many, many different types of use cases. I mean, you must have played around with ChatGPT and Claude, and even for us in our team, right, where every day we're finding different ways to use Claude to improve our work. But at the moment, the way we think about governing each use case is kind of a once-off, very tailored approach. And when you're actually thinking about rolling out 50, 100, 200 AI applications, you're very quickly going to be stuck if you go with that siloed way of testing and evaluation.
Yeah.
Right.
So it might come down to, especially if it's a big organization, where it come down to different kind of regulations for different departments even, right? Maybe the finance department has different thresholds, different rules. Like in a newsroom, for example, I would, I guess, tell reporters, you can't use ChatGPT to write your entire story. That's the rule. Along those lines, right?
Yes.
I just feel that it's not easy right now. It's still hazy. And based on your clients and the work that you do you think companies really do care about the governance part? Or not say care, but do they think about it carefully enough?
Increasingly so, and we do see a spectrum. I think the front runners who have had some experience with their pilots and experimentations, they've seen successes with it, and they're ready to take the step forward. They very quickly realize that in parallel, we need to quickly think about how to embed this testing and evaluation capability, right? Because otherwise there will be what we call a validation bottleneck. The ones who are still experimenting, I think rightly so, in the experimentation phase, you don't want to slap on too much regulations or rules, right? But I believe in this climate, board members are also asking, okay, when can we see some results, right, from the pilots? Like, I mean, in Singapore, IMDA also mentioned the importance of pushing towards production scale AI, and that I think will be the next wave that we will see, right? How do we actually take agentic into the real world? Allow agents to tap on multiple different data sources and actually augment certain decision-making processes.
Yeah, and also I feel like sometimes you kind of don't know what rule you need to enact until things go south. It's like kids, right? I mean, only when you do something wrong, then you know, oh, okay, maybe there should be a rule around this.
I would say by now there's enough AI incidents for us to learn from it already. We don't really need to
Hallucination,
make more
inaccuracies,
mistakes.
like all kinds of misinformation, that kind of thing, right? So if you're the producer and you're putting out this stuff, you have to be really careful, right? I mean, it's go through some gates, guardians at the gate, maybe. I don't know.
Don't contribute to more AI slop.
Okay, so I want to talk about this thing about you were saying what it means to be human, right? In our earlier chat, you were saying it shouldn't be the case that my Claude's judgment is pitted against your Claude judgment.
Yes.
Right? And that actually we should seriously stop becoming so dependent on letting a machine think for us. What has been your experience generally?
I think we've certainly found it very useful to use Claude. First of all, as an individual, right? Just to figure out what you can get Claude to do rather than you manually handle on your own.
Yeah.
But then also within the function, right? Whether it's finance, marketing, BD, product, and then across functions.
Yep.
But the moment you reach the realm of interacting with someone else and, in particular from another team, what I've personally found is it's important to also know when you will stop using Claude.
Okay. Tell me. I can't stop using Claude. I love
so
this.
So typically, I mean, the human nature, right? We tend to use Claude to look for the answers.
Yes.
But I also think that it's important to use Claude to challenge your own views.
Right.
How you use it. And even with that, in a collaborative process, we have found that by probably the second, third, or fourth discussion, it can very quickly reach a point where it's my Claude taking a different view from your Claude on perhaps one idea on how we want to move forward. And at that point in time, because it's such a subjective process, I think it's important to say that, okay, let's take a pause. What I need is actually your human judgment, your assessment of things combined with mine, and we come to a collective decision, just us. Because otherwise it never ends in terms of getting our Claude to debate, right? That's not necessarily a bad thing, but for me, the key thing is whether as the decision maker, are you still following your Claude's train of thought, or are you completely letting go of that responsibility to Claude? And again, it depends on how significant the decision is.
I also think that increasingly I have to stop myself from being, for lack of a better word, lazy about things. Like I have to actively stop myself and say, okay, let me think about this first before I feed it into Claude. Or when it gives me something, I'm actively stopping myself from saying, okay, this is good enough.
Yeah.
This is the challenge, right? Because the technology is so powerful.
Yeah.
And it solves for all the stuff that used to be hard.
I think in the decision-making matrix, like what you would have delegated anyway, it's great, just let Claude do it, right?
Okay.
But it's that top right-hand corner where it's important, it requires deliberation, perhaps it's a no U-turn kind of decision. That's where I think knowing when to retain the human judgment is important.
Okay. And again, this should be communicated quite openly in a company, right?
It should, but it's not easy.
Why?
It's not easy because I think we're all still figuring out what's this contract we have with our individual Claude, right? Even with, for example, skills that we are developing as a company for everyone to use. How do you decide who owns the context for the skills, right? How do you decide when to update the context? I mean, traditionally, all that lives in our heads. The wonderful thing is now you can actually articulate that as a skill and have more people benefit from it. But then because it allows things to be a lot more dynamic, how do you make sure that, you know, there is a process, there is a rhythm to updating those skills? I think all that is quite new for many of us.
So I think we're still trying to figure out.
Indeed.
Right?
Yeah.
Companies are still trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the other things that we talk about a lot and we care about actually is jobs.
Yes.
Right? And I think, again, this is something not anybody has a clear answer to. I don't know how the AI tree will shake out, like how many apples will fall out, how many people will be affected. I'm already kind of seeing that maybe the younger folks are finding it hard because all the stuff that they used to have to do or hired to do can now be done quite efficiently by a model, right? So what are your thoughts? I mean, you've been doing this for 6 years now. Do you think that it's too early to tell if there's massive job loss like some of the AI companies are saying will happen?
I think as with every wave of fundamental technology, there will be an impact to the nature of work, to the skills and capabilities that are required. It's going to be harder for some than others. But what AI cannot take away from a human is your fundamental curiosity and ability to learn. And today, right, we see a lot of benefits from language models. There's still a next bound, which are world models, right, that can actually understand how the 3D environment works. So in the meantime, there's still a lot more that as human beings we can offer in understanding context, environment, even just our face-to-face interaction, being able to read nuances. So it will make certain jobs redundant. It will also mean that certain functions can be a lot more lean than before. Like we were talking about marketing, content creation, right? A lot of that can actually be done by AI today. But it will never fully replace the need for human judgment.
For people.
For people, that's right.
I totally agree. I think that fundamentally, whether it's a company or the government or society as a whole, we have to take care of the people first, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what's a society without people, right?
Yeah.
But I think the argument that this is not, this is like any other technological revolution is, I'm not entirely convinced because I feel like this is quite game changing. I mean, I'm old enough to have gone through a few of those things. I was a print reporter.
Yeah.
I still have to transcribe interviews, you know, literally like by hand. And then we moved to recording and then moved from print to online and then moved to email, moved to, I don't know, all kinds of things. But my job essentially didn't really change. But now I think my job has changed quite a bit.
Yes. I would think your job is now to be a checker most of the time.
Right? Which is 50% of my job before.
Yes.
Right? So now I have 50% more time, I suppose.
So I think for those who have had the experience of doing things from scratch, being a checker is not so scary.
Yeah.
But if you
never did it,
the challenge right now is most companies will not pay you to do it, especially if AI can do it.
Yeah.
And I think that the direct implication is you have to find your own avenues and ways to make sure you get your hands dirty and learn how to do it, or figure out how you can pick up the context so that you can be a good checker. Otherwise, it can be quite overwhelming. I think sometimes you might feel like you're an imposter most of the time if you don't know how to check the AI's work.
I mean, the whole point of my generation I mean, we talk about this a lot on the podcast because, Edwin, who's, by the way, his dog is sick, so he couldn't make it. He believes that AI could write him a science fiction book. I totally disagree. Like, I wouldn't have an AI write for me my draft.
Yeah.
My AI is my editor.
I see.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But somebody was saying that that's because you can write. Like, that's all you've done all your life.
Yes.
But there are people who don't.
Yeah.
So AI becomes quite an important tool for them to be able to write. It's actually quite a lot more transformative than we think it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was just reflecting on the speech writing process in government, right? We used to have to go through many different drafts and versions, but the most important meeting was always sitting with the person giving the speech to actually understand how they're thinking through the topic, what would be the key points they want to make, and also to observe the way they speak and, what's their style and cadence, right? For someone who's gone through this process, AI is amazing. You can get to, the 95% version very quickly.
Yeah.
But if you never had the opportunity to go through that and in particular learn from the person giving the speech, then the benefit of AI is maybe you get to about a 50% draft. So I do think the way we teach our students, in particular, how they need to think about learning opportunities will have to change. I don't think we have the answers yet.
I think everyone's grappling with this right now.
Yeah.
It's not possible to go back to analog. If you build that argument all the way, it's like, okay, sit down with me and interview me, right? So that you build the context and you build the basics and you build the skills so that then when you actually go out to work and be a writer, you'll be able to edit.
Yeah. I think the other part is learning how to think at the systems level is going to be increasingly important, right?
Yep.
Because besides being a checker, I think the other part of our job will be being the orchestrator. I can now build my chief of staff agent, my finance agent, my marketing agent, but ultimately I need them to collaborate together just like a real team.
Indeed.
And that requires systems thinking, which it's not a core part of all curriculum at the moment.
Yes. Yeah. So speaking of curriculum, right? I mean, you have kids, they are the AI generation.
Yeah.
Right? Do you worry about that?
Definitely.
All the time, right? That's what every parent is telling me, like, oh my God.
One big worry I have is how will the value of what is true and what is real become diluted over time, right? Take deepfake as an example.
Okay.
I think 3 years ago, everybody has family WhatsApp groups, right? 3 years ago, if someone sends a deepfake video, everybody will be like, oh, this is not real. Please don't take it seriously.
Yeah.
Now, it's sent. I will still make that comment, I'll be like, this is not real. But the reply is, yeah, I know it's not real, but it's very interesting, it made these points and all that. So to me, those are signals that our definition of what is true is evolving. We've always battled with the virtual reality and all that, right? But all the more with AI becoming so immersive, so human-like, we must proactively preserve what we believe to be true and real. We can't just be passive passengers along the way.
I mean, do you talk to your kids about this?
At the stage of parenting that I'm in, it's easier to just show them rather than tell them, because telling sounds naggy. But a lot of the showing is just, hey, let's get out there, get into the real world.
So as a parent, to be more intentional about building the relationship outside of this digital matrix.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's a concept of what is real. What is real is mom and dad and how much they love you.
Yes.
Right?
That's right.
rather than turn to ChatGPT when I'm having a bad day,
Yeah.
which is what's happening a lot now, I think.
Yeah. And I think also understanding what's behind ChatGPT, building that basic vocabulary of what's an algorithm, how is it trained, where does the data come from, why does it always sound so encouraging?
Yeah, I banned my AI from sounding encouraging. I absolutely hate it when it says, oh, this is such a brilliant whatever idea or draft. I think that's probably because parents wouldn't know either.
I think we're all figuring out.
Yeah.
And we will make mistakes, right?
Along the way.
Even parents or adults, we fall into the trap of, getting addicted to a game or doom scrolling. And it's not just affecting children, but it's
adults
everyone,
too.
Adults, right?
And elderly.
Yeah.
If you're just talking about it. Yeah. All these elderly folks, doom scrolling on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I know 80-year-olds who, have ditched the TV and they're just on TikTok now. And the thing is, they're consuming all the AI, videos.
That's right.
You know the AI baby videos?
Yes.
Oh my God. They are so entertaining, right?
It does raise a very interesting policy question that I'm not sure any government has proactively answered.
Which is
how do you want to preserve what is real and true in our culture, right? Because if, like I said, entertainment is becoming more realistic, more immersive, it's natural for the market forces to move in a certain direction, right? The more you watch your AI-generated videos, the more content creators will be incentivized to create it.
Yes.
The more we see that as equivalent to your real MediaCorp or K-dramas, then the line blurs and then it just boils down to which is more entertaining.
Yeah.
But can AI actually truly reflect culture?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is a very important policy question. And I think only governments can set the tone for this, probably.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's inconsistent, right? I mean, it depends whether your company is into it. I say this because somebody was telling me about TikTok Shop, right?
Yeah.
So TikTok Shop has basically the little box comes out and then you can buy something, but it's usually embedded in a video.
Yeah.
Right. And so if you're a TikTok influencer, and somebody clicks on your video and buys that product, you get a cut. I mean, so it's incentives, right, around it. But this fellow was telling me that now he's noticing that a lot of the influencer videos are AI videos. So thinking to myself, okay, then who gets the cut? I guess the content farm behind it.
The question is, does it matter?
So to him, he doesn't matter.
Okay. Yeah.
To him, it doesn't. But to me, it matters because
why?
He's not a real person, right? Who is the influencer is an AI influencer.
Yeah.
It's a fake, completely fake. But
at the end of the day, you get a good recommendation and you get your goods, right?
And there's a human behind this whole operation.
Presumably.
Oh my God. So you see what I mean about what is real to me versus what is real to someone who is 20?
Yes.
Has changed.
Yes.
They don't care.
Yeah.
It's fed them something. They like the product. They bought it and everybody's happy.
Yeah.
Okay, is there anything else you would like to add, April? I mean, just as a way of closing. On your journey so far, things you grapple with, things you're very positive and enthusiastic about.
I think there is a lot that AI can do to make a real impact on the public good. I think we've only touched the tip of the iceberg for that. But what I would really love to see is that human beings retain that sense of agency and authority over AI.
Yeah.
And really go back to first principles on what makes us human, right? Like if relationships is what makes us human, then what would be the OB markers where we say, well, even if AI could do this,
Let's not.
because the relational aspect of this engagement matters. And I think that's going to be important if we want to thrive in the world of AI, rather than risk sliding into this sense of despair and resentment, which I do think we're already seeing some signs of it.
There's a pushback against this whole thing, right?
And it doesn't have to be so, because there are also many ways that we can use the technology to make positive impact.
Oh, yeah. I always feel like we are small enough to be able to have the best possible outcomes, Singapore
especially Singapore, yes.
Right? Because we're small enough, we're fairly compliant.
And because our public trust in technology is still generally very high, I think there's a lot that we can do to showcase what a positive way of engaging with technology could look like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think we need to press in on what being human really means.
Yes.
Thank you, April.
Thank you.
This was lovely. Okay, thanks everyone for listening. I hope you learned a thing or two. I also write a companion newsletter on Substack, so do follow us and subscribe. We'll see you soon.